Hi again and welcome. This is Summer Han and you are my guest today. I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for joining me. I realized that after stating in the previous video, the Welcome video, that I had mentioned I am really ready for such a time as this. I want you to know I have not always felt that way. In fact, it's been in the last third of my life that I've begun to understand what my gifting is and how God has used everything in my life for good, even if it was difficult, even if it meant separation from things that I really wanted to do, be, or have. And it's just exciting for me to be able to help you at this time in your life. Thank you for being open to listening and reflecting and growing, because growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to be better. I want you to get to know me, so I have a story about something that happened in my life. Oh, it was about 15 years ago. I was called to be on the women's ministry staff at my church. I had never led a women's ministry, although I had been involved in it for quite some time. And I wanted you to know that when I got asked to come, my pastor came to me the first week and said, "Summer, as the women's ministry leader, I need you to do thus and such." Well, I looked at him confused and said, "Pastor Kenny, I'm not a leader." And he said, "Not only are you the leader of the women's ministry team, but you are a leader." Wham! That hit me between the eyes. And you know why? He said, "Because to say you're not is declaring false humility." I never knew what false humility was, but in that moment I began to understand my true gifting from God is to be a leader. And what a waste if I don't share my leadership with you. Now, I took that statement and I ran to God with it. And I said, "Lord, I want to lead with your help." I rode the most amazing wave from Hawaii all the way to California with God for the next almost 10 years. Yet I never could if I had stayed in that state of false humility. False humility is thinking less of yourself than you ought. Thinking less of yourself than who God made you. Well, I knew I didn't want to do that. And once I had the power of that knowledge, it changed everything for me. You know, I know that Kenny didn't mean any harm when he said that. And I know it was for my benefit. And this is one of the many lessons that from my life that I would just like to share with you. If it's of any value to you, I certainly hope so. I'm personally upfront and honest, and I want to have open communication with you. I have a very favorite book that I read sometimes. It's called The Jesus Style by Gail Irwin. In it, he talks about how Moses, in 2 Corinthians, there's a reflection of Moses who said he had a veiled face. He was trying to hide from the Israelites the radiance of God. You know, I don't want to do that. This is the power through God, through the gifting he's given me, and through the Holy Spirit, that I'm even able to come here and share with you from my heart to yours. I know it's going to take time for you to get to know, trust, and like me. But I want you to know that there is no better time than now for me to step up and do what God's called me to do in obedience, to serve you, to love you, and to believe in you. You know, in that book I mentioned, The Jesus Style, on page 82, there's something that I want to leave you with. It says, to live with a mask is not to experience the freedom of the Spirit who administers forgiveness and gives us courage to rip the veil aside and reflect God's glory. May you take that to heart as something to think about and reflect on today. I hope I see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.